All right. Hello again, adventures, and welcome to another exciting daily vlog. This is daily vlog number, I think it's 316 at this point. So, today, I'm not going to talk about the Veilguard. What I am going to talk about is another way for you to get into Essence20. Humble Bundle has been partnering with Renegade a lot the past month or two here. They, I think the first one I remember them doing was, I think it started with Transformers and then it went Power Rangers. Then they had the World of Darkness bundle. And now they have a G.I. Joe bundle. It basically works the same way as the other Essence 20 bundles. There is a $40 flavor of the bundle. There is an $18 flavor of the bundle. And then a $10 and $1 flavor of the bundle. The two that I'm going to be focusing on here are the $40 and the $18 one. So, if anyone's unaware, this year marks the 10th anniversary of Renegade Game Studios existing. So they've been doing a fair amount of stuff for their 10th anniversary. And I'm assuming all of these Essence 20 bundles have got to be related to that in some way, shape, or form. Now they have a G.I. Joe RPG bundle. And the two I want to talk about, the $40 version comes with a bunch of physical items that you will have to pay shipping on. Whereas the $18 one is digital only. And effectively what it is almost every single G.I. Joe source book that has been published, to the point where I don't think they're actually missing one for G.I. Joe, because they actually have the most recent G.I. Joe source book that they put out was the Quartermaster's Guide to Gear, which I do own, and I've been meaning on doing an in-depth review on that for forever, since I purchased it like back in April or something. I just haven't been able to do it. So this does have the Quartermaster's Guide to Gear in it. So I think this might actually have all of the G.I. Joe source books, compared to like the Power Rangers one where they were like missing the absolute most recent one, the Beneath the Helmet one, and I think Transformers as well. They were just missing one of the absolute newest ones. So this one is literally, it comes with the core rulebook, comes with the Cobra Codex, it comes with Factions in Action Volumes 1 and 2. It comes with the Field Guide to Action Adventure, which is the crossover book that... Sorry. I had some stuff on my glasses, and it's annoying me. Which every one of these Essence 20 bundles has come with that Field Guide to Action Adventure. And then it also has the Quartermaster's Guide to Gear, which again, I own. I have not read the damn book, because everything that's been going on, I just keep forgetting to do it. But what has happened thus far, when Finster's Monster-Matic book came out for the Power Rangers role-playing game, it was a great Power Rangers resource, but it also finally broke down everything you need to know to be able to create your own threats in the Essence 20 system in general. It's a fantastic book for that. My theory, which again, I could confirm by just reading the damn book, but I just haven't done it, is that the Quartermaster's Guide to Gear is basically going to be the same thing, but for equipment. Which, if anyone has watched any of my Essence 20 coverage, you know that gear and equipment in and of itself is significantly more important in the Essence 20 system than just about any other tabletop RPG that I've played. because it vastly changes how you play your character. Depending on the weapons that you use, the damage type that they do, what other alternate fire functions or alternate effect functions it has, it can massively change how you play your character. So having an entire book focused on equipment for the Essence20 system is generally a good thing. So yeah, for $18, you basically get the entirety of the G.I. Joe role-playing game. In addition to the source books, it also gives you it's got the Sergeant Slaughter accessory pack source book, which if anyone is unaware, I mentioned that is up until Factions and Actions Volume 2. That was the only quote-unquote source book that I didn't own for the G.I. Joe RPG, because it was part of a physical item that just had more stuff than I wanted, and I didn't realize there was actually a few character options in it. So this would give you that, which is probably why I'm going to pick it up. In addition, it also gives you a bunch of adventures. So it gives you the Operation Cold Iron adventure. It gives you the Emerald Oubliette adventure. It also gives you 3 of the Play Renegade adventures. If you're unfamiliar with that, it's basically the D&D Adventures League, but for Renegade. They will generally put out 1 adventure per season for each one of their Essence20 titles, and then also they have them for their World of Darkness titles. So it comes with 3 effectively one-shots from the Play Renegade program. And like I said, the digital version without all the physical stuff is $18. The core book in and of itself, which, where are you? I just need something that I can copy and paste. Let's try G.I. Joe core book. I just need to see what the actual price is right now. So, normally it goes for $55. It's on sale right now for $49.50 without shipping. Once you add shipping in, it generally adds another $6 to $10 easily. So, it's roughly a $60 book for just the core books. Just the core book. The rest of the books tend to run anywhere from about $30 to $45 So for $18, it is cheaper to get the Humble Bundle if the only thing you want is the role-playing game core book. And then everything else is just extra. If you're unaware of like the G.I. Joe role-playing game in general, one of the interesting things about it, the Power Rangers role-playing game is very, very focused on perks. Like, that's where you get most of your customization. That's where you're really going to shine for Power Rangers. The Transformers role-playing game is much more focused on, like, origins and influences. Because your origin gives you your alt mode, and they have so many different influences that will help you kind of mold your character into what you want. So that tends to be what I think of the system doing the best for Transformers. For G.I. Joe, it's the equipment. The G.I. Joe role-playing game has the best equipment system of any of the 3, because in addition to having access to all the different weapons, and G.I. Joe has more different weapon types than any of the other Essence20 games. They also have armor, which for Power Rangers, your armor is literally just, well, it adds extra points to your toughness score. For Transformers, it's similar, but there are some upgrades that you can get that might give you like stealth capabilities or things like that. So it's a little bit more modular, but it's still basically very similar to how most tabletop RPGs treat armor, which is it's something that you use to make you harder to hit, and that's it. For G.I. Joe, they have all of these different systems that you can equip to your armor and upgrade your armor with, that your armor in and of itself is an entirely separate aspect of your character that, again, will massively change how you play. The equipment system in G.I. Joe is absolutely second to none. In tabletop RPGs in general, just with how well they integrated and how much your equipment choices will vastly change how your character works, in addition to your origin, your influences, and your role, and your focus. So if you're looking for something that's got that little bit more crunch, G.I. Joe probably has the most crunch of any of the Essence20 systems. If you're not familiar with that term, crunch is basically more rules and stuff like that. Because G.I. Joe has significantly more factions than literally any other Essence20 system, and your faction is going to change how you play your character, in addition to just having really robust equipment rules and stuff like that. G.I. Joe, if you're one of those people that really wants a crunchy system, G.I. Joe is probably going to be the crunchiest of the Essence20 Giga games. So if all that stuff sounds appealing to you, $18 is hard to go wrong with. If you want the $40 bundle, again, the only difference between the $40 and the $18 is the $40 one comes with a bunch of physical stuff. Physical stuff is you get a G.I. Joe role-playing game Cobra dice set. You get a Cobra dice bag. You get a character journal, which is basically just, it's a journal, I think, with a character sheet in it. So you have plenty of places to take notes, plus keep your character sheet in there. It might just be a journal. I don't know. I've never actually had one of the character journals. So, and then it also comes with the Sergeant Slaughter limited edition accessory pack, where it comes with all the physical stuff in addition to just the PDF. And then it also comes with the game standee pack, which is basically miniatures that aren't miniatures. If you're familiar with Pathfinder, they used to, I don't know if they still do this, but one of the things they used to do is they would sell a product called the Bestiary box. And basically what it was it was a box of die-cut cardboard standees with a bunch of stands that you could use in place of minis. Back when I was running games in person, I actually picked up one of them because it just gave me gave me like 100 different quote-unquote minis. And so whenever I was running an adventure, instead of having to go through my, as you can see on my shelf back there, I do have a decent collection right back there. I have, and that's not even like half the minis I have. I have a decent collection of minis, but they're, first of all, unpainted, and second of all, they're kind of cheap plastic because they came from my, there we go. They came from my D&D board game sets. The D&D board game I loved. It's one of my favorite board games. But one of the big reasons why I bought the D&D board game set is because each one would come with like 40 or 50 minis that I could use. And they were fine, but the Bestiary box minis from Pathfinder, again, they're just die-cut flat cardboard. But the artwork looks really, really pretty. And so I don't know if I still have it. I just don't know where I put it. But yeah, it was an absolutely wonderful accessory to have. And that's effectively what the game standee pack is. They're basically minis. I don't know the quality. I don't know if they're like the die cut pressed cardboard that the Bestiary box is, or if there's something different. But that's my understanding is that's effectively what they are. So if you run games in person, having minis and stuff like that is very, very useful. Especially since the Essence20 system in and of itself, you don't have to run it with maps. It is very, very doable theater of the mind. However, there's enough crunch to the system that running it with maps is useful, to the point where most of the published adventures have maps printed in there that you can use to run your adventures. So, yeah. Like I said, I generally don't tend to get the physical stuff because, again, I can't leave my house anymore. So I haven't run in-person D&D in like 7 or 8 years, something like that. But the digital version is just, like I said, this is an unbelievably great deal. That, again, I am going to be picking up for the sheer fact that it will get me 2 core books that I don't have, that I don't want to spend the money on. The Sergeant Slaughter thing, and then Factions and Actions Volume 2. And it will give me a bunch of adventures for the G.I. Joe role-playing game, which I don't own any adventures. The only Essence20 adventures that I own is the first one that they published, which is Adventures in Angel Grove, and I did an in-depth review on that. That is the only one that I actually own. I haven't really invested in any of the adventures themselves because Essence20 is freaking expensive. It's 3 different tabletop RPGs that are all releasing like 2 or 3 books a year. And each one of the books runs me like 45 to 50 bucks easily. It's very, very expensive, especially being on disability and not having disposable income. It becomes very, very difficult to keep up with it. So this is a fantastic way to do it. I am so thrilled that Humble keeps doing this. And that Renegade is partnering with them, because I love Humble Bundle in general. That's where I get a large portion of my tabletop RPGs as I go through either Humble Bundle or Bundle of Holding, so I can get like an entire tabletop RPG in one purchase, as opposed to having to kind of nickel and dime my way through an entire set. So, yeah. If you are a fan of the Essence20 system in general, you really should think about picking up this book. It's a really this bundle. The Cobra Codex in and of itself is really fantastic, not just from the fact that it lets you play the bad guys, but it actually explains how to run an evil campaign, and at the same time kind of explains the motivation behind evil characters really well. And that's not something that a lot of tabletop RPGs do regularly. This one and the Decepticon directive are absolutely wonderful if you, as a game master, have problems creating kind of believable villains. This will help you to understand some of the motivations behind a lot of villains, how to create a believable evil organization. Not only a believable evil organization, but a believable evil organization that your players are going to want to defeat. Because there's a lot of evil organizations out there that people really could not care about. Most of them are corporations at this point. But, yeah, I mean, it's one thing to create a believable villain. It's another thing, which is hard in and of itself, is to create a believable, realistic villain. But it's another thing to create a believable, realistic villain that your players want to take down. Because it might just be that, like, they're realistic, but I don't want to deal with that in my fantasy escapism. So, yeah, like, I can't recommend these bundles enough. If you are not into the, like, if you've seen some of my content, you're like, wow, that's kind of interesting, but you haven't really felt the need to take the plunge and invest in the Essence20 system, this is by far the cheapest and easiest way to get into Essence20 that has ever existed. The bundle, as of right now, the bundle lasts for another 18 days, 18 hours, and 41 minutes as of me recording this. So, you've got a little bit of time to figure out if you want to pick it up or not. But if you're interested in Essence20 at all, because this includes the Field Guide to Action Adventure, which is basically a guide on how to take stuff from like the G.I. Joe RPG and use it in Transformers or use it in Power Rangers, and how to take Power Rangers and use them in Transformers or use them in G.I. Joe, etc. It basically means that even if you don't like G.I. Joe, you can use this stuff in your Transformers game. You can use this stuff in your Power Rangers game. And again, because the thing that G.I. Joe does better than literally anyone else is the equipment, especially the armor aspect. Picking up the G.I. Joe role-playing game is simply going to expand how much you can customize your other Kiki characters without having to do a massive amount of balancing and kind of writing new rules and stuff like that. Like, all of that stuff already exists in here. So, yeah. Let me know, because I know I've had at least one or two people mention that they picked up one of these bundles as their first introduction to Essence20. So if any of you guys are actually picking up either this bundle or any of the other Essence20 bundles, let me know in the comments down below. And let me know, is this your introduction to Essence20? Is this the first time you've done anything? Are you like me, where you will pick up a bundle to kind of shore up bits of the system that you just haven't purchased on your own? Let me know all that stuff in the comments down below. Otherwise, again, it's all for me today. I will see you guys next time. All right? And link to the bundle is going to be in the description. All right? Bye-bye.